My best friend. You asked me to choose between you and my best friend. And I'm a very loyal. Alright, hey y'all, and welcome back to my channel. If this video looks kind of familiar, it's because I just got finished shooting another video that I should have already uploaded by now. But I'm still trying to take off my nails, so I'm just gonna soak and just make another video in the meantime. And so in today's video, I am going to be talking about something that I don't know. It just I like talking about it. And actually, excuse me, me and my best friend, we actually we did a podcast last year. We recorded everything. It's about what, 7 or 8 episodes, and this was one of the topics in the episode. So if you all like this topic and if you all want to hear that podcast, just let me know, and we can make some things happen. But yeah, so this episode, I mean, not this episode, gosh, this today I'm going to be talking about, like, how do you manage, how can you be in a romantic relationship and still have an opposite sex best friend? Yeah, y'all. I'm one of those. I'm a unicorn. I'm one of those females that has a heterosexual male best friend, and I have a and I'm in a and I have a partner. Y'all, it's anything is beautiful when it comes together beautifully, but the behind the scenes can get real meshy. I'm just playing, but I'm not. But so how do you manage those type of relationships? Like, how do you do that? And I can only speak from my experience. I would just, to give a background, my male best friend, we met in college in 2007. And it was pretty much, I mean, it wasn't like instantly, but since we met, we've been like, we just been friends. We just always been cool with each other. It wasn't like no bad energy, no bad blood against against us. Like, we were just cool with each other. And yeah, and our friendship just continued to grow and grow and grow and grow and grow. And as our friendship continued to grow, I began to, so I'll just say this, because again, we talked about this in that one episode of our podcast. As our, so, okay, let me just give a background. Let me just rewind. I grew up as a tomboy. I didn't really pay attention to my looks, which is why now I'm just a low maintenance chick. I'm just embrace who I am. Sorry, y'all. My armpit's itchy. So I grew up as a tomboy, just real rough around the edges. And when I hit college, I'll just say when I hit high school, I started to try to dabble into femininity a little bit more. When I hit college, try to do it some more again. And so by dabbling to my femininity and just like wanting to date and do all those things, I started to take a little more pride in my appearance. And guys started to notice. But yeah, so around the time that I met my best friend, I never went on a date or did anything like that. So I didn't have much experience with dating and trying to have a boyfriend and a male best friend at the same time. I didn't know how to deal with that. And so when I did start to date, when I got into college, me and my best friend, we were probably maybe 2 or 3 years into our friendship anyway. And so I didn't have the insight to knowing how to manage, like how to have a boyfriend and how to have a heterosexual male best friend at the same time, because a lot of issues that we'll come across, well, mainly me. We'll both get it too, because we'll hang out with each other and people be like, "Oh, y'all should date and y'all should do this and y'all should do that," and I'm like, I hear what you're saying, but what people fail to realize, and if anybody is going through this right now, what your partner or the person that you're dating is failing to realize is that people have to be attracted to one another. And just because that is somebody of the opposite sex and we're both heterosexual, that does not mean that I'm attracted to them. And my best friend would agree. Like, yeah, we're cool. We got good energy. Like, we laugh, we have fun, and all the other stuff. I mean, when he does that, I mean, we're like that with all of our in our friend group. But people make it seem like, oh, because you laugh with another guy, and you're going to deal with this too if your boyfriend or even if your girlfriend has a little bit of insecurities, and if they've been taught that guys and girls should not be friends, they should only procreate together, or they should only be they should only be mating together. Like, I know it's not real old school, but if you are around people that have that type of mentality, then it's going to be very hard for you to convince them that women and men can be friends, and it can just stay like that, because not everybody is attracted to everybody. Everybody has their preference. So, but the thing about it, when I did start to date, and it was like kind of like a real relationship when I started to date, and I had to come across that hurdle of trying to not make first of all, not look like a little harlot, because I ain't want the person I'm dating thinking like, oh, she just probably like be getting around with this guy and all that stuff. I didn't want the person I'm dating to be thinking that. So I had to basically try to protect my reputation. I had to try to manage the person I was dating at the time, their emotions, and to be honest, their insecurities. And then I had to try to manage my friendship, because at the end of the day, my friendship is always important. Like, friendship is very important to me. This guy I was dating, yes, I really liked him at the time, but that's my friend, dog. That's my best friend. You asked me to choose between you and my best friend. And I'm a very loyal person. And loyalty doesn't necessarily, like, time doesn't necessarily mean loyalty. But in this case, that's my road dog right there. You asking me to do something very hard that might hurt your feelings. And I don't want to hurt your feelings because I like you at the time. And so it was at that moment that I had to, it was kind of like, choose me or him. And in my mind, I'm like, okay, I'm not about to stop being friends with this cool ass dude that I'm not doing anything with. I'm not about to stop being friends with this cool ass dude. So I had to have this awkward conversation with my friend and say, such and such, he's not necessarily comfortable with our friendship and all this other stuff. But I also had to have an awkward conversation with the person I was dating at the time, like, this is what it is. This is my friend. Because of just who I am, just being, um, tomboy, low maintenance, I gravitate towards a lot of guy friends. That's just my personality. Um, and so yeah, I had to have a conversation with him, just let him know that this is what it is. I'm not, and I had to stress that I'm not about to stop being friends with this person because you are uncomfortable with it. I would and so what I would try to do, and it was both, it was a conversation on both ends. For the most part, it was settled, but I did have to be more mindful about my interactions with my best friend. And it wasn't too bad, but it was just kind of like, it was a suck. It's an uncomfortable position to be in. And so if you are in this position, and if you listen to this story, just know that you are not alone. Um, it's a delicate balance to try to balance. It's a delicate thing to try to balance. But I think one thing that has been helpful for me has always been just being open and communicating, just having open communication with both my best friend and whoever I was dating at the time. And just when you're having that conversation with you and your best friend, to let them know just some boundaries. Like, it doesn't mean that you have to be super strict or anything. Like, just talk to your best friend. Talk to your significant other. Let them know what is going on. And just leave it, and just continue to do that. And another thing I would suggest is to create opportunities for you and that for your best friend and your significant other to just hang out. Build their own type of relationship. Even if it's just a cordial relationship, just build some type of relationship. Because what you don't want is for that your partner or the person that you're dating to be super insecure, like when you're alone with your friend. Because in your mind, you're thinking, that's just a homie, that's just a friend. Like, if it was a same sex friend, you just be thinking of it like that. But in their mind, they're like, dang, my boyfriend or my girlfriend is with this other person, and they just hanging out and just laughing. In their mind, they can build up something that's very extravagant, very like, sir, ma'am, do you really think I would do all of that? Like, you should know me by now. Especially depending on how long y'all been dating. Yeah, just create opportunities for them to build relationships with each other, because that's important. Like, you just gotta think about it from the perspective of the person that's stuck in the middle. They're stuck in the middle. They have to choose between this person. They might be put in a situation where they have to choose between this person and that person, and that's not a good feeling. And if you are a partner that's trying to make the person that you're dating choose between you and their best friend, that's not a good way to build a partnership. To have these like ultimatums, like either them or me. It's like, no, that's not, you shouldn't do that to somebody that you care about. It's just a very selfish thing to do. And to be honest, if you are in a situation where your partner is trying to make you choose, and if that partner is not budging and like trying to be reasonable with their requests, I know I say I mind my business, but like, if that partner cannot find a way to work with you through, because you wasn't just born, came into this life and you met this person, like you met your partner or the person that you're dating. You've had experiences, you have life experience, you've met people, you have people in your life. So for them to say, oh, now that I'm in your life, you got to choose between this person or me, that's not a good person to be around. They're actually being very controlling. It's just not a good situation overall. So, and it might be unfortunate, but you might just have to remove yourself from that situation too, because it's just a very selfish thing to do. I had to go through it the first time I really started dating, and again, it didn't end well. So, I mean, I think it just didn't. It just didn't end well. Because you might feel resentment for that significant other. Like, dang, I had to choose between you and my best friend, and I chose you, and now you're not really the person that I really want. Or like we've just grown apart, and you just gave up on a really good friend, really good person, because this other person asked you to do that. And it's not, and again, you realize that you are not as in love with the person, or you're not as committed to the person as you want to be. No, don't do that to yourself, boo. Mm, 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 Don't do that to yourself. It's a hard thing to have to go through. But at the end of the day, like, I would suggest, my recommendation is don't do it to yourself, Aaron. I think that in order to like kind of navigate through this type of world of having an opposite sex best friend when you're in a relationship, it's important to have good communication, create environments for them to just build their own relationship. Again, they don't have to be the best of friends, but it'll be great if they could be cordial. Another thing is set boundaries. And that might be one of the hardest of the things to do, is to set boundaries, because your best friend is going to be like, that's my best friend. Da, 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 da. We always do this. We always do that together. But your best friend, and you as well, you got to understand that you're trying to build a relationship with somebody. And so in order for that to happen, you kind of got to cancel out outside noise and be present in that relationship. And so, and not so easily sidetracked by your friends. And that's just for anybody. It doesn't matter if you are, whether it's opposite sex or whatever. Whenever you're in a relationship, you gotta understand how to balance being in a relationship and still hanging out with your friends and just doing the stuff that y'all used to do. Like, that's just a delicate balance in general. So yeah, just but creating boundaries and just letting your friend know, like, hey, I really care about this person. I'm not trying to stop being friends with you or anything like that. But you know, maybe you can't talk about or maybe you don't talk about your relationship as much with your friend. And it's not because like something bad is going on in your relationship or you're trying to be secretive, but you do got to understand that you're trying to build a relationship with someone else. And so in order for that to happen, you got to keep in mind that when you're talking about your relationship with your friends, you're also putting your partner's business out there too. And if your partner doesn't want their business out there like that, which is understandable, then you just got to be mindful about the things that you communicate. Like, yeah, that's your best friend and they're always going to be there for you. But at the same time, like, again, you're trying to build a relationship with somebody. And so you just got to set boundaries. It's just a healthy boundary that you have to set. Now, if something serious is going on in your relationship, yeah, definitely tell somebody, especially tell your best friend. But if y'all are just going through the ups and downs of being in a relationship, and you want to use that as an opportunity to constantly tell your best friend or just tell your friends about it in general, you're gonna learn soon enough. Everybody don't need to be in your business. even if it is your best friend. Everybody don't need to be in your business. And you're gonna find a way to balance that. And so, yeah, that's about it for this video. It's kind of long, but I'm just here to say that it's possible to have a male best friend, to have male friends. Okay, let me just say this. Now, because my best friend is male, and I knew him before I started, before I knew my partner now, and because I've had to deal with that struggle of, like, even in this relationship, in the beginning, trying to deal with that balance of how do I balance this new relationship and how do I balance my friendship. Now, I'm good. But one thing that I try to be mindful of now is that I'm really on no new friends tip. And it's not that I don't trust any guys or anything like that. It's just that I'm at a good space right now with my male best friend and my partner. I'm not trying to bring in no new male friends that's going to have to start that whole process all over again. I'm good. I'm Gucci. So I just wanted to, let y'all know that there are people out there like me that exist, that are, I'm in a full ass relationship, and I have a heterosexual male best friend. And like I said, in that podcast, we talk about a little bit more, just kind of like, because I'm speaking from a female perspective, but he is, again, a heterosexual man, and he's in his own relationship, so he can speak from it from a male perspective. And yeah, and how we just try to balance and manage that relationship, and still maintain our friendships, which is just key to both of us. So it's a delicate balance, but it is possible. But okay, y'all, I got my nails off. One nail look kind of greenish. I don't know what that's about. I'm about to soak these bad boys in some coconut oil. Okay. All right. But thank you all for watching this long and unorganized video. But I appreciate you all so much. So thank you, and I'll talk to you soon.